everyone, it's Sharonda from Panther Wakanda, and today I'm going to be reviewing Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which will hit theaters this weekend. This film is directed by Ryan Coogler and is co-written by Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole. This film stars Tenoch Huerta and Letitia Wright. Angela Bassett, as this film centers around the people of Wakanda who fight to protect their home from world powers while also mourning the death of their king T'Challa. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay or wait to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever in theaters this weekend. So going into what I enjoyed the most about this film, and for me, y'all know I'm a girl who likes to dig deep, and I love the themes in Wakanda Forever, but most importantly, the theme on how to deal with grief and loss, and how a lot of us mourn our loved ones in different ways, and we really get to see that through the explorations of grief through some of our core characters in Wakanda Forever. I will have to say that I think a lot of us were shocked and stunned by the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. And I think after that, a lot of people were on pins and needles trying to see not only how would they honor the legacy of who Chadwick Boseman was, but how they would also honor that legacy of King T'Challa. And I will have to say that this movie does not dance around it. It does not warm you up to it. The movie immediately starts with addressing what has happened to King T'Challa. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was eating my food. You know, I like to just bring my little meal in, like to get seated and eating when it starts. I was boohoo crying over my chicken wrap, y'all. Like, I paid a lot of money for that chicken wrap to be crying all over it. And I have to say, while I appreciate that they just delve deep into it, I do want to make sure that I set people with the expectation is if you dealt with loss, if you dealt with grief, this might hit home a little harder than what you actually think it will. So definitely bring your tissues, okay? Just say I told you first. Bring your tissues. Don't get caught slipping how I was slipping in Wakanda Forever, all right? But this brings out some very beautiful performances in the film. And I love the standout characters for me. Angela Bassett, you saw from that line in the trailer that you knew she was coming to eat and leave no crumbs in this movie. To see the nuanced performance of a woman who has lost so much for her country. She's lost her husband, she's lost her child, but also too trying to balance how to grieve the loss of her loved ones while also trying to still remain a parental figure for her child, Shuri. And to see that balance of how she handles that while she's trying to deal with grief in her own way, but to also be there for her child who is struggling, but to also to make sure that she's being there for her country. And then we get some really powerful scenes from Angela Bassett. And I honestly feel that they could run her for supporting for award season. And I think she could get it. I'm just saying, y'all still owe her an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It, but that's a story for a different video. But I'm just saying, if y'all, I feel like that's a sure bet for them if they wanted to push it. Now, while Angela Bassett is absolutely fantastic, Letitia Wright, we get such a different side of Shuri in this film. You know, in the first film, she's this bubbly, genius young woman who is just the heart of the film. The spirit just puts a smile on your face. And we're introduced to a very different Shuri in Wakanda Forever. We're introduced to a person that's dealing with grief, regret, and is having a really hard time of mourning and has a lot of anger. And I like that we get to see these two very contrast performances from Letitia Wright, and I think she has some really great scenes in this movie as well, and I don't want y'all to count her out either. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. Now, I do want to give shout out to Dominique Thorne as Riri. Like, y'all always be asking me, Sharonda, what is your most anticipated Marvel project? Y'all, after watching Dominique portray Riri in this movie, Ironheart is at the top of my list. Most anticipated Marvel series. Okay, I really liked her. Whereas Shuri may be a darker character for you in this film, Riri is the light. She's the comedy of the film. I like how her character is introduced, and what better way to not only have one genius but two geniuses, and they're both Black women. Like, what a time to be alive right now. I was here for every single moment. I love how we kind of get to see this friendship or this early sisterhood between Riri and Shuri. I really love seeing the interactions between those two. Now, Tenoch Huerta, who plays Namor, y'all, like, whew. Namor's out here murking people. Like, Namor don't care. And I was totally here for it. Now, as someone who always continuously complains about comic book movie villains, I will have to say that Namor is like one of my favorite villains of the year, y'all. I'm just saying. Probably favorite villain of the year. You can tell that Namor was a passion project for Ryan, who always wanted to include Namor into the MCU, but the backstory of how this character is written, it's very seldom that you get a fully fleshed out villain that is layered in so many different ways, to the point, I think the best villains are the ones that you kind of go back and forth and toe that line. Like, while watching this movie and you get to see the backstory of how Namor came to be, you almost begin to question, is Namor a villain, or is Namor just a product of the circumstances of events that has happened in his life? And you understand every action that is taken, whether you agree with it or not. You understand where Namor is coming from. You understand the purpose behind it. And I think that when you have a very fleshed out villain like that, a villain that you kind of want to root for, like, I was like, Wakanda, I'm on your side, y'all, but Namor though, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted right now. I'm kind of happy no matter which way this turns out. And I think that really has to do with the backstory. I know people were complaining because this is a different character from the comic books, but I really think that how his character is written, how it's influenced with culture, I just think it's so well done. Like, I was just like, Ryan, go ahead. Like, can we get a Namor movie? Like, I'm just saying, it should be greenlit. By the time this movie comes out, y'all need to go ahead and greenlit the Namor movie, because I really don't want to have to start a petition, but I can, and I have the time to do so, okay? But I think to know he has just a presence about him as you're introduced to Namor, and you get to see his civilization. I just think, I'm like, I don't want to mess with them. If they doing all of this and we just introduced to them, I'm not finna go up here and start messing with them. I think that they are badasses, and I really love what they did with his character. I think he is absolutely just perfect. And if you haven't watched him in Narcos Mexico, but most importantly, Son of Monarchs, you should go watch him. He's been in other stuff before Black Panther. I don't want y'all to be saying like, oh, this is his first movie. It's not. Don't do that. Now, yeah, so also too, honorable mentions, like, I love Nakia's character. Lupita is just great as Nakia. We don't get as much as her. She doesn't come in until later in the film. But we do get to see a different side of Nakia, and as you kind of see how she's dealt with the mourning of T'Challa. I think you'll be very interested to see how her storyline goes. Also to Okoye, y'all, Okoye got read for filth. I'm not gonna say what happened, but she got read for filth, and I was kind of here for it. I was like, and that's how you clear it. Or you know, I ain't gonna complain about Okoye because I don't want her coming for me, but she got cleared, okay? Them checks got cashed and cleared quickly. But I love seeing Denai. I thought she was great as well. And to see her grapple with this loss, but how to still be a warrior, how to still be a good general. And I like how we kind of get to delve deeper into that as well in the film. Now, I know y'all get scared when I start talking about costume design and production design. Please don't get scared, y'all. But Hannah Bleacher, the world that she has created with Wakanda Forever, it's just so beautiful to look at. As you get to see, you see these, you get to see more of Wakanda. You get to see them, you know, in mourning, what it looks like them to celebrate, you know, those who have come and gone. I just think everything just looks so beautiful as you know, go into Namor's backstory and go into Namor's, the Talakan. Like, it's just, everything just looks so great. It's so well thought out. It's so beautiful to look at on screen. But can we talk about Ruth Carter? Okay, give her award now. Let me tell y'all something. Disney, now y'all be up for some cash grabs, okay? But if y'all don't go ahead and greenlight this, like, ready to wear Wakanda Forever clothing collection, okay? Because the costumes, honey, they was served, like, the costumes was costume and the outfits were outfitting. I was like, let me get that, let me get that, let me get that. And just to let y'all know how serious I am right now, I'm gonna tell you how serious I am. While watching this film, I said, if tomorrow they were to say, Sharana, the Wakanda Forever fashion collection is going on sale, okay? And they tell me that you gotta buy everything right now, I will sacrifice my 2023 Beyonce Renaissance ticket fund to buy all of those outfits. Cause honey, she did the dang old thing, okay? I just wanted y'all to know, get context of how serious I was. The score, amazing as always. The musical A&B selections in the film, they were all placed at the right moments at the right time. I had a lot of fun with this. These themes of the grief and the loss, of also too talking about colonialism. It's some really interesting themes that are introduced into this film, and I thought that the writing is absolutely fantastic for the most part. Now, I do got some issues that I have with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, okay? I can't love everything. I do have some criticisms of the movie, and the major criticism of Black Panther Wakanda Forever is there's a lot going on. There's just a lot happening, and it almost feels as if there's two different movies battling against each other the whole time. You have the mourning of T'Challa, what that means for our core characters, what that means for, the fans. And then also too, you have this whole scenario happening with Namor. Now, the issue that I have is there's actually something that they introduce in regards to colonialism and how the world powers are trying to take advantage of Wakanda's mourning and steal their resources because they feel without their champion, they have now weakened. And so now they feel like they have a claim to vibranium. And I think that was such a good mode to explore and then tie that in with them trying to figure out how to grieve and how to move forward and deal with these threats without their champion. They kind of oh, hey, guess what? I know that was kind of good. We're not going to do that no more. We're going to focus on this and then we're going to just bring in Namor. And I was just like, while I love Namor and everything that Namor did, captivating on screen, you want to keep watching. I was just like, I don't know if necessarily all of this needed to happen in this film. I feel like we bit off a little bit more than we could actually chew. And I feel like the movie kind of suffers because it feels like there's so much happening and you don't have time to breathe. Now, also too, if it's something that Disney's gonna do, they always gonna queer bait, and I'm truly tired of it. I'm so tired of it. It's something that happens with two characters. You kind of okay, I feel like I got this vibe going on, okay? And then when they actually confirm the vibe, I was like, that's it? Disney, that's it? That's all y'all gonna do? We already barely got LGBTQ plus representation, especially for Black queer people. Why you do that? Why you do that? You got a whole arc in the comic books. Why you do that? Why did you do it? It just don't even make sense. Also too, the way that everyone hyped up Michaela Cole being in this movie, Michaela Cole's barely in this movie, to the point I was just like, why y'all do my good sis like this? But the most egregious thing is the lack of screen time for M'Baku, played by Winston Duke. When you're already missing T'Challa, you're missing this huge male presence. It would be natural for M'Baku to be the person to want to step up and be there for everyone, okay, as one of the core male characters left. And the film thinks that it's doing that, they address it, but he's barely in the movie, okay? And because when he's on screen, makes his presence known, you're like, oh yeah, that's the unruly M'Baku I be used to, who be funny. You just come when he's not there, you're just like, why was he missing? Why did we do this? It doesn't make any sense to me. So it just feels like a core character that's wasted. And because there's so much going on, there's sequences that happen with Okoye that's supposed to be cool, that because there's so much happening so quickly, I don't feel like they give that enough time to breathe. And I feel like we get to miss the presence of people who should have been there more. But I don't know how you balance that with introducing two huge new characters. But what I will say overall for me is that Ryan Coogler was given a very daunting task. To lose a friend, to lose a brother, to lose your main actor of a franchise has to be something very hard to deal with. And there has to have been immense pressure to rewrite a script that was already finished, to try to shift and make room to handle all of these questions that not only, the studio and, fans and loved ones had, but the world had, honestly. And I think that given the pressure and everything that happened, the circumstances, I think Ryan Coogler did a really good job. Given everything that has happened, there's questions that are answered, theories that are answered, especially for people wondering how will the T'Challa be honored going forward. I think that question is answered in the movie as well. And overall for me, I think that the writing of the script not only gave us a chance to heal, but it gave the cast and crew a chance to heal as well. And I think that overall for me, I really had a good time with Wakanda Forever. Bring your tissues, y'all, because the amount of emotional breakdowns that I had, I was crying for 30 minutes straight after watching this movie. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay? It's a lot. Get them tears, okay? I got the pit bull inside of me and I was still crying. I just wanted to set y'all with the proper expectations. But what I would tell you to do with you and your coins for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I would tell you to pay to go see it, okay? You're going to get some action, because I know what y'all finna say, Sharona, you didn't mention nothing about the action. You got some good action, especially with some good sequences from Letitia and Okoye. I think you will have a lot of fun with it. I think that even though with the minor issues that I have with the film, I overall think that a lot of people will still be excited about Wakanda Forever. Is definitely ranked high in the Phase 4 ranking. We're going to talk about that in the spoiler review, how this ranks within Phase 4 of the MCU in movies. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. As always, my name is Sharona from Panther Wakanda, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again, bye.